Everybody, what's going on? I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of November 14th through the 21st of 2021. It's a big week. I'm sure you guys have been feeling it as the full moon is going to be happening this Wednesday, Thursday. But it's not just any full moon. It happens to be a partial lunar eclipse, and it's in the sign of Taurus, which think back to 2012, 13, 14, because 2012 was when the nodes changed signs from the Sagittarius Gemini sign into the Taurus Scorpio sign, which is where it will be in a few months. So this is important just to make a little notation because certain themes are starting. This is setting us up for the next 18 months to 2 years of a new cycle. Now, in this process, let's just talk about what is coming up leading into this full moon, which I know many of you are already feeling. And thank you so much for your patience while I am currently serving in my role as staff director at the Nine Gates Mystery Schools. I will be back right around the eclipse time. But in the meantime, just know each and every one of you are being held in this energy field. And if you can feel what's happening for the Scorpio energy that we're in, the transformation, the ahas that are coming through great mysteries, that are also coming through a sense of letting go. And in the letting go, there's a grief. And in the middle of grief, there's life. And in the middle of life, there's death. And as we have heard this phrase, death is what gives life meaning. And while it is not an easy process at times, it can be painful. Painful is part of life, but suffering comes when we are clinging, when we're grabbing, when we're holding on to something that needs to be let go. And all of this Scorpio energy, a lot of what we're holding on to are emotional energies, emotional past. Very often what causes our suffering is when we cling to those past hurts, those past memories, and we continue to play the stories over and over and over in our minds, reifying them, making them solid, making them real. And then when we are forced to face the reality, which is what the sun sextiling Pluto on Tuesday is going to give us an opportunity to do. We face a reality, we may be forced to let go of something. Or if we're not clinging, if we're not grabbing onto it, if we're willing to acknowledge, yeah, the past happened, the pain was there, the pain is still here. If we can acknowledge it, and instead of holding it and going into all of those stories that have kept us stuck, if we can acknowledge it, we can love it, we can accept it, because it's helped to shape us who we are. It's helped to make us. And it is allowing us to be able to express our creativity through the lens, even of the learning from the past, even from the experiences of the past. And I just want to emphasize, each and every one of us matter. We all are part of this unified presence, but we have unique expressions. And so we are here, we have value, we take up space, and we deserve to take up space. We deserve to have our expressions, creative expressions, our unique way of communicating, our unique way of being in this world, because it adds value to the greater whole, the greater purpose. And so whatever that is, I invite us, let's dance into the light of this full moon in our own way, joining hands, because none of us can do this alone. I mean, you've heard me say this, sure, we could probably will ourselves to do it for those of us who have a strong will. But at the same time, it's much more fun to do it with people that you care about, that you love, and that you can celebrate all of the oddities, all of the weirdness, because Uranus is involved in this full moon. It's not going to be in a strong conjunction, but the moon will pass through the 12 degrees that Uranus is sitting in right now before it makes its opposition to the sun at 27 degrees. And so what this offers to us as the week leads up to this eclipse, and eclipses usually signal endings or finalities. But remember that the endings are simply a restart or a button that gets pushed for something new to come in. And with this being in a friendly and warm and loving kind of sign like Taurus, it can allow us to pass through this eye of the needle, this darkness, this painful point so that we can then realize how truly powerful we are and how truly loved we are. And when we are becoming love and compassion itself, imagine how we can respond to whatever shows up next. With the energy leading into this full moon, there is a deep desire for truth. There is a most likely powerful and forceful need for manifestation. There's opportunities that can arise for us where we can say, okay, I feel the intensity of these emotions, the desire that I have. Desire isn't bad. It's the attachment to that desire and that getting so fixed or tunnel vision on it has to be this way or else, or the obsession kicks in because Pluto offers a lot of energy around obsession. And with a sextile, sextiles are friendly. They're very harmonious aspects, but they create a little bit of tension, or I'll say this oomph that it's almost, I can only speak for myself. So I'm going to use the lens in which I can relate to. And that is, it offers an obsessive quality for me that almost feels addictive. You know, I don't know if the rest of you watching this have any area of your life where you feel a little addicted to something. You know, I get addicted to the feel good things. I get addicted to hope. I get addicted to the things that make my heart expand, and I just want to do more. And Pluto in Capricorn wants to do more because it wants to achieve something. And the sun in Scorpio sextiling this achievement is, I want to do more emotionally. I want to feel good all the time. And it doesn't always work that way. So how do we find, and some of you have been watching me and connecting with me over the years, understand I've been working with that fine line between pleasure and pain, and how I can find pleasure even in the painful moments. And I don't mean it from a superficial level. I mean from a very deep level, because I'm going to talk to you on a deep level here in all this Scorpio energy. And so here we are working with those more intense, obsessive, addictive qualities or emotions that we may be feeling. And going into this full moon, we're invited to let go and not cling to them and say, I have this spark of creation. I desire something to happen, but I'm not going to get so obsessed that I miss the opportunity to see what's around me. Those of you who are playing in the intuitive realm, or you're very connected to the intuitive realm, and you do ceremony or you do certain rituals, you understand there's a subtle force that is happening in the middle of the ceremony. We may be performing certain acts or invoking certain wisdom or energy or whatever, but if we're so laser focused on the outcome and we jump to a solution, because that's something else that can get triggered this week. We're going to automatically jump to, well, I'm going to fix it this way, or it has to show up this way, or I won't be happy if it doesn't, whatever. And if we are so fixed on that, we miss the more subtle energies that can come in, that can bless us, or that we can be of greater service, or it can energize us. I was enjoying myself with somebody who I feel is a very much of a beloved, and we were playing at the ocean. And it was such a beautiful experience to witness and be in relationship with this body of water. And Mother Nature never disappoints. And the energy of the ocean is very appropriate for the sun in Scorpio because it's deep, watery, intuitive, and powerful. Because remember, Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio, and Mars, our desire planet, is also the traditional ruler of Scorpio. So when you add that into Mother Nature, into this body of water called the ocean, and feeling the waves as they come and crash onto the shore, or they come and crash onto a rock, you know, it's amazing. And creating a tantric relationship where there's an equal exchange of give and take, and there's a respect that's there. That's what we're working with this week. You know, I posted my video for last week saying this is going to be an intense week. It's not slowing down until after we get past this full moon eclipse. And then, even though we'll have some relief, there may be some hangover from it, whatever, there's still going to be a deep and transformational aspect to it, because we can't go through major initiations. And what I mean by initiations, well, Some of us are transitioning out of relationship, from one relationship, maybe ending it. Maybe we're transitioning out of a job. Maybe we're transitioning out of an idea. We're being forced to let go of something that we thought was reliable, something we thought was steady, because we're dealing with Taurus energy, we're dealing with Scorpio energy. Also, one other pin on the map with Scorpio, there's extremes that often happen. So if you feel this extreme happiness and then this extreme crash, that can happen. And I'm not saying this to scare us or to create a tension that can put us into some sort of fight, flight, or freeze mode. But that is a reality. How do we respond to it when the pendulum is swinging from one end of the spectrum to the other? The invitation is to ride the wave, to be able to have self-care, to be able to take time out, to be able to say, I'm angry, I'm pissed off, I'm sad, or I'm so elated and I feel high as a kite or whatever. And I'm not talking about drugs per se, but if anybody is as emotionally tapped in and sensitive like I am, empathic overload, you're going to feel like you can spend time with somebody that you care about and they're processing something deep. And you go deep with them. And then it's hard sometimes to let that go. So you have to integrate it. This is an integration time. Uranus is going to play a part, as I mentioned. So sudden things may pop up because it's going to be opposing Mars. Mars, god of war, but also where we assert ourselves. It's where we drive our will out into the world and we say it's time to manifest. Well, with Uranus involved, anything goes. So passion can come up very easily. Passion can be great, especially if you're looking at that sexual passion or you're looking at that passion for something you want to achieve or something that you're ready to get done. Aha moments. One of the things that I love to witness and I experience myself is when you get those aha moments that pop in and you go, like, let's say there's a particular word that might be working you a little bit, or a relationship dynamic or a decision that you need to make. And when it finally pops and you're like, that's Uranus. That's when it pops in and it feels so good because you're like, no, I get it. So we may have some of that. There could be a real desire to share whatever we're so passionate about. Be aware that not everybody wants to hear it or to experience it. You may have some resistance to something. One of the things about Uranus and Taurus is that it can create, yes, sudden ahas and sharing of ideas and all of those kind of things. But it also can trigger a stubbornness. So there could be a few of us who experience where we thought there was somebody reliable, somebody that we could share things with or have this emotional connection with or whatever. And then suddenly they pull back and they get stubborn on an issue. And so you have to come in and make that final finality, that decision, or you take that action that says, okay, if you're not going to make that choice or that decision, I'm going to have to do it. Keep in mind, when we're making choices, decisions, taking actions, sometimes we don't have all the answers. We don't know exactly how it's going to shake up. It's alchemical experience, right? And so what we're doing is we're adding these ingredients with our words, with our actions, and then it could blow up in our face or it could be the best thing ever, right? Maybe we end up inventing something new in our lives. That's the real invitation to this eclipse. And because Jupiter is also part of this eclipse, we may find greater blessings. But keep in mind, Jupiter is an expansive planet. Yes, it's good luck and fortune, but the opposite or the shadow side of it is extravagance. It also is overinflation. So remember, where attention goes, energy flows. Where are we putting our attention? How are we expressing ourselves? This could be one of those times when we just take a leap of faith. We declare our love for somebody, or we declare the things that we want in our lives, and poof, they manifest, right? Or we receive some sort of blessing. With Taurus energy, watch your finances, watch your physical body, watch the way in which you give value to something. Because Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus rules finances, relationships, values. things we find beautiful, harmonious. It's how we give and receive. And so with this Taurus energy, we want physicalness. So do watch your spending, do watch those kinds of decisions. I venture to say that there's going to be quite a few, if you have been in the in-between space, I mentioned this before, that now's the time where you say, I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to just put the past behind me and get moving. And you're going to start this cycle. Eclipses happen in 6-month cycles. So whatever you decide now, think ahead. Come May, another eclipse will occur, and it can bookend whatever you decide now. This is about making conscious decisions. This is about letting life happen with us, co-creating, versus it happening to us. On a collective level, this could present relationship dynamics with not just people, but things. What do we value? Like I mentioned, you want to know where somebody adds value or has value? Watch where they spend their time and money, their energy, their resources. This is all about resources, especially because we're dealing with Scorpio and Taurus energy. If for some reason we are feeling, I want to choose my words carefully, if we have been resistant to something in our lives that needs to change, this eclipse may present, and it may already have, or because eclipses are like full moons on steroids, we can feel it a few weeks before, a few weeks after. If you haven't experienced it yet, you may after this eclipse. But if there's something we've been resisting, the universe, us, ourselves, higher self, God, whatever words you want to use, goddess, has a wonderful way of presenting something to us. This is an external force that forces us to move forward. So whatever that might be, if it feels too much, if it feels too heavy, if it feels like you're in a major pendulum swing, remember you're not alone. Let your people, let your support group, let somebody that you trust, you feel safe with, lean in on you and remind you to go with the flow. This is a go with the flow kind of energy. It's the joke, well, it's not a joke, but the statement from Star Wars, resistance is futile. Really is. It'll create suffering. It'll definitely create something in your life, in my life, that will just keep me stuck. It can create depression. It can create anger. It can create this feeling of hopelessness. And we as human beings need hope. We need hope to know that life really does love us. And how do we find that hope? We have faith that there is something inside of us that keeps us going, that we have value. This eclipse is about what we value, who we are as powerful human beings, and then how can we offer that as an act of service to the greater good? Because when we are serving, then we find meaning. And this also includes serving ourselves. So if you need to take a break, if you need self-love, if you need to take a time out to regroup or to nurture yourself, this is a great time to do it. And you may find yourself really pulled deeply inside because it is an eclipse. So I say all that to say, thank you for your patience while I am serving in my role, and know that I will be back after the 19th. I am thrilled to connect with you. I do have a lot of bookings already on the calendar. Right now, I have about a 1.5 to 2 week extension here. So please get on the calendar as soon as you can. You can find me at jamiedawn.com. You can email me, whatever you need. And I'm thrilled to be a part of your life. And thank you for trusting me. Thank you for letting me hold that space and witness with you whatever it is that you are walking through. Because I can tell you right now, the work you're doing is making a difference. And I want to put one other little thing here. And thank you for those of you who have stayed tuned for this entire video. Some of you have asked me, I want to help more. I want to do more. I want to change the world, whatever it is. And yes, we start with ourselves. Here's the invitation. Just change one person. Make a difference in one person's life. Because just like the pebble in the pond, it'll ripple out. You make a difference in their life, they'll make a difference in somebody else's. then that person, and it just extends. So let's not lose sight. Make a difference. Choose one. Maybe that'll be your practice for this eclipse. Choose one person to make a difference. And yes, transformation isn't always easy. It's not always pleasant. But not everything that tastes good is good for us, and not everything that's good for us tastes good. But it's all about evolution. It's all about us raising the vibration of this planet, raising the vibration for ourselves, and being of great service for each other. All right, you guys, I really hope that this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Feel free to share these videos and give me feedback. I'm open to it. All right. Have such a wonderful week. I'm here for you. Take care.